In the headlines, 100% potable water to be achieved by year-end, moves to boost disaster response with new legislation, and the spotlight on major enhancement projects for Roseau this year. I'm Andrea Lee with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this. Thank you for staying with us. Topping the news, more reliable and strengthened water systems on the agenda of the Dominica Water and Sewerage Company in 2017. General Manager of the Wasco, Wed18th, told Channel 5 News that 8 storage tanks and 5 new water systems are expected to be completed this year.
In 2017, we intend to make those systems a lot more secure than they are right now. So we have, at the moment, a program with the World Bank, DVRP, and the Government of Dominica, that is the Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Program funded by the World Bank and the government. And so that project is seeking to develop, during the year 2017, 8 water storage tanks on the West Coast.
He also said that work undertaken to restore water systems in 2016 following damage done by Tropical Storm Erica was temporary.
We are also looking at completing the Bells-Penrise-Sylvania Despo water system. That should have been completed in October of 2015, but because of Tropical Storm Erica, we had major setbacks. The government has facilitated funding for us through the Dominica Social Security to ensure that that project is complete. So that will bring a lot more security and reliability to the water systems in Bells-Penrise, Despo, and Sylvania.
18th believes that the island could have 100% potable water coverage by the end of this year.
We're very thankful that the government of Dominica has prioritized 5 water systems to be funded under the Basic Needs Trust Fund. And those are well on their way, and Salisbury is one of those communities. We hope that we can see actual construction of that new system beginning in Salisbury by the end of February for the latest.
So a new water system for Salisbury?
A new and improved water system for Salisbury. The same for Woodford, Wesley and Marigot, for Laplain, for Bagatelle, all funded under the Basic Needs Trust Fund of the CDB. There are a number of other systems that we are working on. We have the Bent's water supply system, which is again one to be funded under the Dominica Social Security Fund. The Wharton-Waven, Trafalgar, Focani water system. We have to find a new source of water for that area. We are working on that, on the design now. We have in fact, or we believe we have found a new source, and we're working on the design for that particular project.
The company is also looking at improved water treatment to serve consumers for longer periods of time, even when water becomes turbid. Wasco also plans to install an automated water management system for Water Area 1, which spans Mero to Castle Comfort. In other top stories, steps are being taken to finalize Dominica's disaster legislation ahead of the 2017 hurricane season. The word from the Office of Disaster Management Consultant, Cecil Shillingford. Shillingford explained that the disaster legislation is almost ready to be presented to Cabinet. However, Tropical Storm Erica exposed some weaknesses in the legislation.
The disaster legislation has been brought up to a point where it is almost ready to go before Parliament. However, given situations during Tropical Storm Erica, we decided that there are some matters within the legislation which would need some tweaking, especially matters dealing with relief when you have a big event like that, and also matters of evacuation, which the legislation is sort of silent on, so that needs to be incorporated.
The ODM consultant also revealed that a strategy is in place to update the country's national plan, as this hasn't been done in a few years.
The review of NEPO, the National Emergency Planning Organization, and its various organs, and we are making recommendations to the ministry and to Cabinet, and we hope those will be accepted so that we can update the national plan, which hasn't been done for a little while, and a lot of these changes can be factored into the new plan.
The ODM is currently working to reduce the length of time it takes for the public to be informed on an impending disaster through improved early warning systems.
There is a project under the DVRP World Bank that will provide some stream gauges and other weather-related early warning systems that will be put in place. A lot of these early warning systems, weather, seismic, and others, the way it is right now, they go to the media, and then the media informs the general public. We're going to put in place something a little more advanced than that, where once this information reaches the Office of Disaster Management or the Met Office, that we can provide it to the general public almost in real time. So you'll be able to have that on your smartphone, on your tablets, and whatever device you carry in real time.
Work on the Roseau West Bridge project is progressing to the satisfaction of government. Barbadian firm NSG Management and Technical Services Limited started the project in June 2016 with a timeline of less than 1 year for completion. During a site visit to the area on Tuesday, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit said that the project is on course to meet its April 2017 deadline.
Based on what the Ministry of Public Works are saying, and also the contractor, we're on schedule. I think from all reports we are satisfied with the quality of work and the efficiency of the execution of the works. We've always indicated to the country that this will be a marvelous piece of infrastructure in Dominica, in our capital city, as a first phase of upgrading our city to a much more modern and user-friendly city. And we look forward to the completion of this. We expect by the first half of this year for the works to be fully completed.
The Prime Minister also highlighted the positive impact of the West Bridge project on the Dominican economy.
We're very pleased with the quality of the work, the efficiency of it, the engagement of local services, workers, the procurement of the goods and services in the country. So outside of the imported steel frames and so forth, everything has been procured here in Dominica. We're very pleased with this, and one can appreciate the impact this project has had on the Dominican economy. And this is what we're seeking to do in the country, to rebuild our infrastructure and to modernize our infrastructure.
Mr. Skerrit said that apart from the new bridge and retaining wall, other benefits are being reaped from NSG's presence on island.
They've also offered us some additional works, some of it at no cost at all to the client, to us, the government. So we're very appreciative of that. And what is also impressive with the contractors is that they have been able to pass on a lot of the know-how and the skills and the technology to local people. Because the whole intention is to bring people with the vast experience and knowledge in doing these things, so that tomorrow we will be in a position as local Dominicans to be able to handle projects of this magnitude and the complexities which are involved.
The West Bridge and Retaining Wall project cost approximately EC $18.2 million. On the Carnival scene, Carnival City returns to the Pottersville Savannah after 3 years since it's been the official Carnival venue. The first activity, which will be held on the site, is a mini motorcade train on Thursday afternoon, leading up to the official launching of Mass Dominic 2017 at the Fort Young Hotel. The Pottersville Development Committee is particularly pleased that there will be increased economic activity in the area as a result of the decision to have Pottersville Savannah as this year's Carnival City.
We welcome this very much because over the years, a lot of the activities has been shifted there and about, and we in Pottersville, we always were praying that it come back, After we took over this, the previous administration, or we got the committee, we were left with no activities that could generate money to actually take care of the savannah and the environs. revenue will arrive from this, and the people of Pottersville going to see something in terms of sales, and it's just going to be commerce in Pottersville once more again. And we must thank the festival committee for that, and also Val Coffee for choosing Pottersville once again.
Morrow, who is responsible for managing the field, says one of their concerns is proper maintenance of the savanna.
Maintenance of the grounds is one of our concerns, because we have been talking about the grounds over years for replanting of grass, because right now so many grounds have been devastated. So whilst we are raising funds on it, we should be putting back the funds into the grounds to make sure that we have somewhere for the kids to play. We have been talking about it all the times, and I haven't seen enough action in terms of planting program, you know. And if you look right here, we have a track going through here. We try to lock the gate so that we can see how we can get that track out of the savanna. People ride motorbikes in that track to go to the other end when you have the main road. So we have to devise a manner. We have things in line, but we had to be looking for sponsors. For instance, the wall, the wire. We have a company that is willing to assist in that area.
Morrow added that the committee has made arrangements for the grounds of the neighboring Catholic Church to be cleaned after every carnival event. As the carnival season draws upon us, the Solid Waste Management Corporation is assuring the public that it will continue to work with the Roseau City Council and the Environmental Health Department to ensure continuous cleaning of Roseau's streets.
As you know, we have 3 days collection of garbage in Roseau, Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays. And also the Roseau City Council has a schedule for cleaning Roseau, removing all the plastics and the cardboards placed out there by businesses. So Roseau for us is priority, not only Roseau but Portsmouth and the other villages are of priority to the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation. So for Carnival and any other festivity, we need to ensure that the city is properly clean, because Roseau for us should be the hub, should be the center point of a clean Dominica. When you come to Roseau, there should be a spillover effect. When you come to Roseau, if you litter Roseau, you can be ticketed. But when you see how clean Roseau is, it will give you an idea that your community should be as clean as Roseau.
Vagrants around the city have posed a problem to the work of the corporation.
We already have 67 of those adopter block bins in Roseau. Our concern again is that a number of the vagrants, the pyros as we call them, or the mad people, they go about destroying those bins, and for us we'd like to see a control of those people, a special program in place for ensuring that they're clean, that they're fed, that they don't go in the bin, the wrong green bin, to forage for food. So for us that is a no-no, because they go in those bins and they spill the content of those bins onto the streets and to the sidewalk. And those bins are meant for the capture of litter.
You are watching the Channel 5 News, the issue of the limited fire hydrants and more when we return. Welcome back. 2 major proposed development projects for Roseau will get government's attention this year. The more immediate project to reconstruct roads in the city falls under the Roseau Enhancement Project. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit announced on Tuesday that this will involve an upgrade of King George V Street, Great George Street, and Independence Street.
The next phase of the Roseau Enhancement Project will be to reconstruct and enhance 3 streets in the Roseau. So we are doing necessary details. I'm hoping that very soon we can go to tender and sign a contract to commence it. And we'll take it phase by phase.
Mr. Skerrit says the passage of Tropical Storm Erica had caused a delay in the development plans for Roseau. However, it is now full steam ahead for the reconstruction of the city.
We were impacted by Erica. We had to push back on some realities. We are making headway with Erica, and we're now in a position to return to some of our original ideas and concepts for the development of our country. So, because Roseau needs it. I mean, you know, this up and down in the sidewalk, broken pavements, broken sidewalks, you know, broken drains. The only way you can enhance the city is to have a complete reconstruction of it. It makes no sense digging up and patching here and there anymore. We have done that for many decades. The time has come for us to completely reconstruct the city.
The much talked about Roseau River Promenade is also still on the cards for the city's enhancement plan.
And of course the river promenade will certainly be pushed forward so that the vendors can have a better place to vend, and the bus and standing area can become more of a user-friendly, pedestrian-friendly area where we can enjoy the city. Not only drive through the city, but walk and stroll and sit in the city, you know, and to enjoy the beauty of our city, Roseau.
In other road-related matters, government to foot the bill for a road project on Charles Avenue estimated to cost $4 million EC. Public Works Minister Miriam Blanchard says the project will start this year.
Another major project presented in the annual budget. Those are ready. However, the estimate based on the scope of works, that project is not, the cost assigned to that project is in excess of $4 million. So we expect we can begin work on that project soon. The staff of the ministry are aware that this project is a priority. It's a promise, not just in the budget, but remember as well from the budget address, this project is going to be funded by receipts from the road levy. So it's important that we begin this project as soon as possible.
Fire officers have been challenged with a long-standing problem of limited fire hydrants in the outer districts. Deputy Chief Fire Officer Farley Revere says the Fire and Ambulance Services has already made proposals to the Dominica Water and Sewerage Company over the concern.
We're not responsible for the installation of fire hydrants around the island, but we make recommendations to DUASCO for installation of fire hydrants in appropriate areas. It's unfortunate that in the area of Silver Lake, there wasn't sufficient hydrants. It's not because we didn't want them there, but as I said, we are not responsible for the installation of fire hydrants, except that we make recommendations to DUASCO, and they're responsible within their own budget to install the hydrants.
Revere expressed optimism that the issue will be addressed.
But most of the hydrants that's installed around the city and on the outskirts of the city, I think we have sufficient water in there. Those that's operational are very good, very efficient. But we are hopeful after DUASCO has completed their installation of the water system, we'll have appropriate hydrants. We're hopeful that will happen shortly.
In related news, General Manager of DUASCO, Bernard Etinoff, supports the idea of more fire hydrants being installed in various communities, but he says they come at a cost. His comments come after the January 13th fire at Portsmouth that destroyed 2 businesses, where eyewitnesses lamented that there were no fire hydrants nearby.
As regards to the distance between hydrants, is something that the officer raised as well. This is a fact. We have to work with the fire services, we have to work with the government, we have to work with communities to determine how we address that particular aspect of things. Fire hydrants are extremely expensive, you know, to lay down. The DUASCO itself doesn't have the resources to go and put hydrants every 20 feet if that's what people would like to see. You know, the fire services did a study some time ago and made some recommendations where additional hydrants were required. I mean, it is left to the fire service and DUASCO to sit and with the Ministry of Water and decide how we're going to finance additional hydrants for the various communities. I mean, every community in Dominica can do with additional hydrants, so it's going to cost a lot of money. So that has to be prioritized by DUASCO in collaboration with fire services and the government of Dominica.
Etinoff believes a balance must be struck between the water pressure in these hydrants and the water pressure being delivered to everyday consumers, because both are served by the same water system.
As regards to the pressure from fire hydrants, we recognize that the pressure coming from fire hydrants maybe throughout Dominica could be higher. But we also have to understand that we have one water system serving domestic consumers as well as the fire hydrants. If you increase that water pressure to serve the fire hydrants as adequately as you could and as they really need, you're going to burst all the pipes in people's homes and destroy all their appliances. So there has to be a balancing factor there. You cannot increase the pressure or allow so much pressure to get to the hydrants, because you don't have a system serving hydrants and another system serving the communities. It's just one system.
As we wrap up, we can tell you that a regional conference for Catholic priests here will also be an opportunity to push Catholic school students towards the priesthood and nunhood. This as the Association of Diocesan Clergy of the Diocese of Roseau hosts the annual conference of the Diocesan Clergy of the Archdiocese of Castries this week. A Mass at the St. Alphonsus Catholic Church on Monday evening marked the start of the activity. Reverend Father Herman Sharpless told Channel 5 News that one of the activities will be to visit Catholic schools.
We are going to the various schools, the various Catholic secondary schools around the island, including the St. John's Academy, and we'll be speaking to them on the concept of vocation, because vocation is a very important thing. There must be people to serve, and they'll be having an opportunity to ask questions. We'll be able to respond to the questions, and we'll be able to share our own experience as to how we get there, and how, too, if God is calling them, they can get there, too.
The visiting priests come from Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and St. John's in the British Virgin Islands. Similar outreach activities are done in the host country for the conference.
It is not a first-time activity. It's always part of the activities whenever we have our association conferences. We always make time to visit the schools, to speak to the young people, to speak to the students, because the vocation is a very important aspect of life. But of course, we don't only speak of priesthood, but we also speak of married life, because you have deacons there who are married. And so the young person have an opportunity to see what other ways and means they can serve, they can give their life to service to God and to the church and to the community. We also speak to them about religious life in terms of becoming a nun. That's where we go. So we'll be going to the convent and to the St. Martin's School and to all the schools.
That's news. Your sports highlights next with Kenny Williams.
First up in sports, 7 talented footballers here will get a chance to gain an academic sports scholarship at the 2017 Free Kick College Player Showcase in St. Lucia this weekend. Nick Anthony, Fitzjolly, Ali Atit, Montel James, Andres Joseph, Romelcia Phillip and Giles Mitchell were chosen by the Harlem Sports Club in association with the Dominica Football Association and the Sports Division. Don Leogal is president of the Harlem Sports Club.
As the president of the Highland Sports Club, okay, we want to wish all our players well, okay, and the other players from the different clubs that are selected. We expect you to make us proud, as I said, make Dominica proud, make yourself proud, make your club proud, and make your parents proud.
Channel 5 Sports sought feedback from some of the players ahead of this weekend's tryouts.
I feel happy, excited to be one of the few to have been selected to go overseas. I plan to just enjoy myself, because when you enjoy yourself, that's when everything happens. So you cannot go out there being shy and afraid. You just have to go out there and do your best, put your best foot forward.
From what my coach has told me in his last week visit to St. Lucia is that we are already advanced somewhat in our education, because our CXC grades, or the grades which they took, are better than the competing Caribbean countries, which is St. Lucia. I'm not sure about the two others, but St. Lucia for sure we have that advantage. So that is one advantage which I plan to, which I have already, and my other is that I wish to, or I will go there and try my best, which obviously seems to be working since I've been selected for this, so that's what I plan to do.
The athletes were chosen on the basis of their being under 20 years of age, finished high school and possibly university. The tryouts will run from January 20 to 22 and includes up to 50 student athletes from Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Kitts, Grenada and Antigua and Barbuda. Meantime, in the DFA Division 1 League on Thursday, Haitian Angels and Exodus Football Club will go head-to-head at Portersville, while Dublin will have home field advantage when they take on East Central. And Poirier Playing Field will be the grounds for the All Saints versus Trafalgar Football Club match. These games begin at 6 p.m. Sports continues with this item where goal-scoring machine Randolph Peltier has made it clear that he will continue to do what is best for the development of his football skills here. This as the former two-time Footballer of the Year made a major comeback to the sport with 4 goals against Andy Williams Sophia Spartans recently after a lull in his career since August last year.
The scoring goals ability is always inside of me, so I just have to stay fit. And as you know, I was on break, I couldn't play. So I was still training and playing off-season football. So coming back and play is like, it was nothing really. As you can see, it doesn't make nothing a problem. If they say I cannot play, but I choose to play where I feel comfortable, because that's what my football is about. If a team is not serious, I'm not going to stay there and watch guys do what they want. I rather to play where people are serious, so I move. So people say I move there, I move there, I move where teams are winning. It's not really about that. It's a matter of enjoying the game.
He says playing in the First Division is practice for what he has planned for the next football season in the Premier Division, where he will play for Harlem.
First Division is just to get me fit for next year Premier, because next year Premier I really going to come strong. But First Division right now, I'm just going and take one step at a time. But it's not really a difficult task in the First Division right now, because it's just like I just keeping fit in the First Division. I want to play. I'm not going to play 4 Premier games because only 4 Premier games remaining, I think. So I'm going to play the whole season First Division, getting ready for Premier next season. I'm staying at Harlem. I'm going to play at Harlem Premier football next season.
Moving on to netball, where Portsmouth Secondary dominated play in the Sports Division Secondary Schools netball competition on Tuesday. PSSB won the game 21-0 against Dominica Grammar School B. Scoring for PSSB were Janella Luis, 9 from 14, Nelissa Anthony, 6 from 13, and Nzinga Collier, 5 from 12. In another match, PSSA beat DGSA 36-4. Scoring for PSSA were Selena Peter, 23 out of 33, and Denitha George, 13 from 18. For DGSA, Trinice Hamilton scored 3 from 6, and Desra Clark, 1 out of 1. The competition continues on Friday. And the Grand Four Vipers and the Backstreet Bar and Grill have recently booked spots in the final of the Confident Yourself Wood City Football League, and not Grand Four Vipers and RC Doctors as previously reported. That's all the sporting highlights for now. I am Kenny Williams. Join us next time.
And now for the weather forecast.
Good evening, Dominica, and welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I'm your presenter, Marshall Alexander. We begin by taking a look at earlier infrared satellite imagery, what it showed a relatively dry atmosphere across the central and northern portion of the region as a high pressure system dominated conditions there. Now across the extreme southern portion of the island chain, an increasing cloudiness can be seen due to the presence of a weak trough. Now taking a look at earlier visible satellite imagery and what it showed, a few low-level clouds which moved across Dominica today, and this resulted in fair to partly cloudy skies with some multi-layered clouds seen across the extreme south. Now taking a look at earlier radar imagery and what it indicated, limited shower activity across the central and northern portion of the region with an increase in shower activity seen across the extreme south. Now tonight's weather is expected to be fair to partly cloudy and occasionally breezy with a few isolated showers. And tomorrow's weather is expected to be fair to partly cloudy with a few isolated showers mainly across the interior of the island. Sea conditions are expected to be slight to moderate in open water with waves peaking near 7 feet. For the next 3 days, a relatively dry atmosphere can be expected across the islands during the next 3 days, with conditions being fair to partly cloudy with a few brief isolated showers mainly during the late afternoon and overnight period. For the rest of the Caribbean tomorrow, fair to partly cloudy skies with a few isolated showers can be expected across the central and northern portion of the island chain with an increasing cloudiness and scattered showers expected across the southern portion of the region. Our international cities forecast: clear skies expected in New York, Miami, London, and Beijing with some rain expected in Caracas. Sunrise tomorrow, will be at 6:46 a.m. and sunset will be at 5:57 p.m. For more information, you can call the weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit the website at weather.gov.dm. Thanks for viewing. Have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. 100% potable water to be achieved by year end. Moves to boost disaster response with new legislation. And the spotlight on major enhancement projects for Roseau this year. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.